Hello everyone. Today I want to talk to you guys about CPUs. Now CPUs are the most critical part of the computer. Without it, nothing will work. Just kind of want to make this video today to talk about the different types of CPUs and what you can tend to find in them. So the first type I want to go over are basically the least valuable, which are fiber CPUs. Now fiber CPUs come in many shapes and sizes. This is a small one here. This just goes into a small socket motherboard. This one, there isn't much on the top part. There's not that much gold either. If there is, it's very thin. And on the back, you typically get some gold pins there. These are pinned. There's two types of fiber CPUs. Pinned and pinless. So this is an example of a small socket pinned fiber CPU. There's also large socket pinned fiber CPUs, which look like this. This is an AMD Athlon, and as you can see on the back, there's nothing. And you can see that there's also some hair, but you can also see that there are some pins here, and they're all fairly decently gold plated. These have better quality gold, so you can actually see the gold better. On this one, there's a little darker, richer color here than this one, so this is going to have a better gold yield. As you can see here, there's a lot of these MLCCs. Very unusual, specific types of MLCCs. They all have silver in them, though, as well as some platinum. So, we also got a pinless CPU, like right here. This is a pinless CPU. As you can see, it's completely flat and smooth. There's just some gold plating. There is some nice MLCCs on the back, though, except for 3 resistors. That won't have anything we wanted there. But, yeah, not a bad thickness. I mean, it's just pinless, so there's going to be less gold yield than, let's say, a small socket. But they're pretty easy to process. You just rip it off and trim this pieces off and put it into your circuit boards. And speaking of small socket pinned, we also got 2 other types. So we got 3 types here. One that has nothing on here, but a lot of stuff on the back. Also, there's some that have nothing here, but a lot of MLCCs there. And you also got ones with caps on them and ones without. These are just going to be a aluminum plated copper, and if you were to pop it off, you'd find a little small gold plated cover with nothing else really on it. The gold isn't worth recovering because you're going to use so much acids, it's going to take up all your money just to try to get that very small square of gold that's just flashed right on. But as you can see, we got ourselves some MLCCs there with some gold plating underneath. So there we go. There's our pinned small socket fiber CPU with a lid and also without. So yeah, there you go. And we also got ourselves slotted CPUs. This one here, this is a Pentium 2. They also have some small amount of Pentium 3s that were made in slot 1 CPUs. And yes, these are called slot 1, but they can be graded as large socket motherboards. And this one actually comes in many colors. I've seen just white, golden colored, and this was actually a blue one. This came out of the server that I took apart a while ago. But yeah, as you can see, all that holographic sticker is probably one of my favorites things about this thing. So this is actually in my collection. And if we look there, we can actually see some card connector. This is just going to be a gold plated piece here, so you just trim that off or pull it off and you can put that with your gold fingers. And inside there's going to be something known as MMX. As you can see, it says Pentium 2 with MMX technology. There's an MMX grade chip in there. And what this refers to is this chip here, which I have removed out of previous one. And it's just like the MMX ceramic, also hybrid CPU, which has both a ceramic in core part and also fiber edges. It's usually called a black fiber CPU because the fiber is going to be just black. That's in an MMX CPU. And if you pull it up underneath, you'll see this kind of covering. I don't know what it's called, but it's just some kind of almost like just some coating, conformal coating, like some potting compound. And if you pop it off, like I've shown before, we got ourselves our nice pins. As you can see, all that gold plating, that's going to be inside. That's where all of our gold will really be, is in the center. And if you have an MMX chip, which is signified by its black fiber, so this part will be black. This is green, so this isn't. But black fiber CPUs will have a ceramic center with ceramic substrate with gold plating over it, as well as some bonding wires. And now we move on to the different types of ceramic CPUs here. So this is my little collection here. This is of course our nice bulky Intel Pentium. This one actually has something called the FDIV bug, which is basically this rare bug that occurred with some of these chips that would not calculate a very specific equation correctly that probably most people won't even do or even know about, but still Intel wanted to issue a recall on all these chips that have this bug. And the bug is under the chip known as A8050160, and 60 is basically the clock speed, 60 megahertz, and it's an SX835. So this is a very rare IC chip, actually a CPU in this case, and it has a copyright date of 1992. And there's actually a sticker here, looks like a quality control sticker, it says 1994. And the back actually had some writing, but it has worn off due to just the handling. But yeah, you can look up the FDIV bug and learn all about it. It's pretty cool. But yeah, this is my heaviest and most interesting of all the CPUs. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and weigh it real quick. Alright, sorry for the poor lighting, but this FDIV bug Intel Pentium processor weighs 61.4 grams. 61.5 grams. It just kind of goes around. So, relatively heavy. And that's actually, let's count the pounds here. Just 2.165 ounces. So, pretty heavy. 8 of these won't give you a pound. So, very heavy. Actually, let's turn these on. So, for comparable size large socket fiber, it weighs 10.7 grams or 0.37 ounces. So, much lighter in comparison. And these come, this particular chip, this is an AMD K6 II. It works with a nice little Microsoft Windows logo there. This one actually ends up being not terribly heavy either, but there are some chips that will have a gold heat spreader and also a aluminum heat spreader. This guy weighs 0.7 ounces, so not as heavy. This is a Cyrix M2. This one's actually in a bad shape, but I have a better quality one here. This is a Cyrix M2. This is going to go in the collection. It's in much better shape. This one will probably just go to scrap. This weighs 1.52 ounces, so nice and heavy. This one was another Pentium chip. This one I featured in a previous video. This is a, it says IPP on it. I don't know what that means, but it's made in Malaysia, Malay on there. And this was actually a Pentium chip as well. This one was made in 92-93. This doesn't say the clock speed on it very much, I don't think. But yeah, this one had a little fan and a heatsink on it. Didn't say it was an overdrive chip, but I'm kind of thinking it may be, or at least a higher performance CPU. Without the heatsink, it weighs about 1 ounce. So, you know, that's just a general overview of some of the CPUs I have. In review, we have the ceramics over here. We also got ourselves our fiber CPUs, which come in many types and forms. So that's the pinless. The rest of these are pinned. They're all different grades, so they're all varied, and so they're all unique and different to each one of them. Of course, we got ourselves our MMX chip, and we also got a piece of that I didn't show you yet. It's a ceramic piece that I found on the ground at the dump, and it was missing a whole bunch of pieces, but you can see there that shiny stuff that's right there. That's actually all the gold bonding wires, and you can see some gold plating in there. So there's an MMX enhanced, so you know, doesn't weigh much besides my skills off, but you can see the nice gold pins there. And yeah, so there's just in general different types of chips, and also in some of those touch tone phones that you push the buttons, you can get a white chip like this. This one was made in 1984, so it's pretty old. This one actually broke apart when I was removing it. But there's some black rubbery stuff on the back of it, and when I pulled it off, I actually found some nice gold plating. So this is considered ceramic CPU as well. You know, all these pieces will have nice gold on it. So I have to keep this in a little box to keep it all together. But yeah, I thought that looked pretty cool. Let's see if I can try to get something. Okay. I thought I could find some sort of thing to zoom in, but I don't have my lens with me. Oh well. But yeah, so pretty good. Keep an eye out for some of those touch tone phones because they could have that kind of chip in there. Pretty nice. It's a white chip. So yeah, white chips are usually really good. And again, we got ourselves our different backings. Some of them are this kind of ceramic backing. Some of them will be a gold metal cap. See, there's another black backing. But yeah, for me, I don't really plan on processing the ceramic CPUs, but I am processing these guys. I have removed pins before, and I'll show you that real quick. I don't know why I can't seem to. As you can see, pretty nice. I use this snowflake decor thing, but you can actually see all those gold pins. So it's just a few. But as you can see, they're pretty nice. Nice, rich gold plating. So these have pretty good yield, and they're pretty easy to process too. You just drop them in some hydrochloric acid and dissolve all the interior plating in the solder, and you go from there. So yeah, I hope you found that video useful and interesting for your gold recovery future, or present, I don't know. And next time, I'll be going over the evolution of RAM and what kind of things are in there. So, thanks for watching, and I'll hope to see you guys again sometime soon.